Some of the most unexplored regions in the world are the mountains that can inhabit the most populated countries. This is due to overgrown wildlife, impossible to pass terrain, and the overwhelming danger of overcoming one of the biggest obstacles in nature. This has also led many to conclude that there is strange objects that can be found in these regions. One of these goes by the name of the Mount Ararat anomaly. Noah's Ark is a story that many of us have heard. It details the story of Noah, of whom was given the task of building a massive boat and placing on it examples of the world's animals. Interestingly, in recent years a few researchers have come forward and said that at one point in time a great flood did happen. Recent discoveries by underwater archaeologists suggested this event ended up sinking many cities. One such finding was made off the coast of Turkey, where researchers found traces of ancient civilizations dating back since the time of Noah. One thing that's interesting is many civilizations talk about a great flood, and some of these are even documented. Some scientists don't actually doubt this happened, but have suggested it may not have been as massive as it's made out. For example, one theory is that the Great Flood could have been the flooding of the Black Sea. It's been put forward that rising water levels happened in this region around 7,000 years ago. When the European glaciers melted, it caused the sea levels to rise significantly. Some have even suggested that it overflowed with a force 200 times greater than that of Niagara Falls. Although scientists think that it happened, there are questions about the actual event itself, suggesting there's no way the world's animals could have fit on one boat. With some stating the obvious, such as how would the animals have been on the boat without attacking each other, and how did Noah get the animals on the boat in the first place? Many people are fascinated by the story of Noah's Ark, with some people even trying to build and replicate the entire thing. The search for Noah's Ark is never ending. Most of the search has been done on Mount Ararat in northeastern Turkey. To understand why Noah's Ark was never found, you need to be aware of the fact that the Bible says the Ark landed on the mountains of Ararat. This happened on the 150th day of the flood. It's important to mention that Mount Ararat rests upon volcanic strata right on top of sediments which are laid down by the flood. After researchers made their way to the anomaly, they started to carry out some tests, and interestingly, after getting the results back, they confirmed what some believed. The results suggested that inside the anomaly was wood, and that it had been there for thousands of years. They claim this was part of the original structure and say this is proof that the story is fact. Turkish and Chinese explorers say they're 99% sure this wood is the real deal. It was discovered by a 15-member team, and after carrying out further tests they were able to find out the wood in question was around 4,800 years old. Scientists have said, however, that none of this is possible. They say it's not scientifically conceivable that the Ark ended up on top of the 15,000 feet tall Mount Ararat, further saying that quite simply there's not enough water on Earth to raise water levels that high. Carrying on by saying, in case you were thinking that plate tectonics raised the mountain's peak since Noah's time, Mount Ararat was just as tall and out of reach then as now. According to mainstream scientists, the anomaly is very unlikely to be an ark. 5 years ago, Farouk Baz, director of the Boston University Center for Remote Sensing, told Live Science that believers are interpreting satellite images with a biased outlook, going on to say the following: "Up to this time, all the images I've seen can be interpreted as natural landforms. The feature that has been interpreted as the anomaly is to me a ledge of rock in partial shadow, with varied thickness of snow and ice cover, but there are those that are loyal to the idea and say this is the real Noah's Ark." Another interesting mountain can be found in Queensland, Australia, and it's earned worldwide fame due to its peculiar nature and unending witness reports. The mountain is known as the Black Mountain, and not only is it famous for strange and unexplainable disappearances of even the most talented and skilled hikers and outdoorsmen, but it also appears to be at the centre of strange unidentified creatures roaming the mountain alongside shadowy figures. Many locals have often reported seeing the ghost of a medicine man standing on the many different boulders that litter the mountainside. as if his spirit plays a hand in the strange occurrences. Alongside this, reports have been made that farmers and ranch owners travelling through the area alongside their herds of cattle have completely vanished, with the herdsmen and the entire herds of animals never to be seen or heard from again. Commonly, it's been noted by pilots that instruments of their aircrafts will begin to act strangely, and that compasses will no longer point in the direction required to get a proper bearing when flying over the mountain. The locals have often told stories of travellers of whom were hiking the location, and they would trip or fall because they would feel as if hands would come from the ground and try to pull them underneath. Stories regarding the mountain are seemingly unending, and when asking any number of locals, stories will be told from many different perspectives and witness accounts that seem impossible to understand. Some have claimed that the mountain is completely abandoned by wildlife, and that animals will attempt to flee the area if they find themselves near. Others have claimed the mountain has living caves that will swallow and digest anyone who enters. Although nothing is known for certain, the number of reported missing cases seems to be more than enough cause for alarm to warn travellers from ever visiting the location. Over the past several decades, there have been numerous accounts of people going missing while on mountains. This has led to the theory that perhaps these regions are the home to some kind of time portals. The reason people say this is because many have reported losing a large amount of time while on mountains. For example, one hiker detailed that while she was walking on the Untersberg mountain, she saw something strange. She could see what appeared to be a tall humanoid in the distance. She detailed how this person didn't look anatomically correct, saying that the arms, legs and neck were much longer than a modern human's. As she approached the being, she said she felt very calm, almost as if this being was giving off a positive presence. The being told her that these mountains were used as portals by beings not from this planet. She details that the humanoid didn't tell her where they were from, but did say that humans need to try better and that this planet is incredibly special. She then watched as the being walked into a bright area and then vanished. Of course, this account was met with criticism, with some saying the person was just outright lying. It does sound unbelievable, but incredibly, this isn't the only place where this kind of thing has been reported. Another place is that of Skinwalker Ranch. The previous owners would tell stories about mysterious crafts flying through holes in the sky. In fact, on one occasion, the owner said he noticed a large object flying through a bright lit area in the sky, saying that the object in question was around 60 feet in diameter and gave off a blue light. In fact, he said this wasn't rare to see either. The whole family who lived on the ranch during that period observed these mysterious crafts. Going back to the Untersberg mountain, they can be found amongst the Alps on the border of the countries of Germany and Austria. Although this site is regarded as one of the prime hiking spots for travellers coming from all around the world just to bask in its scenic beauty, it appears that the mountain holds a more sinister history. Researchers often regard the Untersberg mountain as one of the most mysterious mountains in the world, due to the fact that it appears to be at the centre of many different rumours that believe the mountains to hold ancient lost civilizations and strange never-before-seen creatures in its forests. Reports say that travellers will often go missing in this region, and some will encounter beings they can't explain. Sometimes this doesn't always happen though, with some saying they suddenly wake up after being missing for several hours. Not only this, but they have no idea where they've been during this time. As of today, many of these mysterious reports remain unsolved, and those who have lost friends or family members in these regions are left wondering what happened to them. As of today, these regions are still popular with tourists and people, and every so often a story will pop up that reminds people why these places are shrouded in mystery. So what do you make of the Mount Ararat anomaly, and do you think it's where Noah's Ark was laid to rest? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.